And welcome back, everyone, to another episode. I'm Jeff, your host, and today we're going to dive into this budget staking tool. We're going to start off with unboxing, disassemble this staking tool, and then we're going to use it, make sure that it works. And so we're starting off here by pulling out the stakes. Now, this box is exactly how I got it from the vendor, and so you're seeing this the first time that I'm seeing it. And so this looks good so far. This bag feels quite heavy. That's a good sign. Like, we used a good type of steel. And here's this wooden block stand, and this thing is heavy too. I think this might be this is very dense wood. I'm very surprised by this. That's really nice. Okay, set that aside and let's get our stake holder out. I'm assuming that's what's going to be in this box. And here we go. Yeah, we got some more wrapping around that too. Good deal. Yeah, so everything looks to be packaged pretty nicely here. No loose bits in the box. Oh, they have it wrapped again. So no rust or anything, so those are some good signs there as far as our first takes go. And paint feels smooth, feels good. Looks great. Yeah, that's a nice little stake holder. It's smaller than I thought. Everybody says that when they see a staking tool for the first time, but yeah, it is a little smaller than I thought, but hey, it's to be expected. And so everything looks nice on this so far. I'm going to start to check the functionality of it. One of them will be that the die plate locking system works. So there we go. They had it locked during shipping. That's a good idea. Wouldn't want that thing bouncing around during shipping. Okay, yeah, so that works. So that's step one. So a staking tool needs to have a locking die plate. Yeah, that did get bent in shipping. That's the only damage I've seen so far here. Everything else looks really nice. But the two main functions our stake holder has is to spin and hold that die plate, and secondly, to hold and align these stakes. And so I'm going to take a look at these, because these stakes are arguably the most important part here. And so, yeah, this plastic is very strong, and again, I don't see any type of corrosion or anything in there, so this was packaged and sealed nicely. So some more bonus points for the vendor there. Okay, let's get these out and see what we're working with. Oh, well, had a runaway there. Great, and I think I see a small bag here that appear. Yep, those are stumps. Okay, so after counting all these up, I ended up with 50 stakes and 10 stumps, and I'm quite happy with that. I had flat stakes, domed stakes, riveting stakes. Looks like I had a nice starter set variety, which is exactly what I'm shooting for. And they even put some plastic protectors on the very sensitive ones. That's okay. Very nice. I'm pretty impressed so far. Yeah, there's another one there. Okay. And let's take a look at this buff pad here. Now that feels a little too rough maybe, but who knows. But I'm a little excited for that white side that seems to be that rubberized type of buffing pad. And yeah, these things never go back on once they come off. Anyway, so yeah, here we go. So overall, first take, I'm pretty happy with everything. And here we go. This is our other big test. Let's see how this feels sliding in there. Yeah, not too bad. Step one, it fits. That's a good start. It does feel a little loose, like we have some in shake. I don't know how much is too much. I would say this is a sloppy slip fit. I'm gonna put a couple more stakes in here and see if we're consistent. That'll be important. Now, I'm not too worried about that because we're gonna use the stake to align the die plate, and then there's always a little bit of wiggle once it goes on to the part we're working on. But I think that's acceptable. That looks good. Oh, yeah, and it holds a stake, so that's interesting too. So good. No, I'm happy overall. I think the precision seems to be somewhat there. So let's start taking this thing apart. This screw feels nice. It's some type of a stainless steel, I can tell. And let's remove the die plate. Now there is a pin I'm going to smack out here. Now what that pin does is the screw pushes into that sloped, pointed tip of the shaft, and it engages with the black anvil that will then pull down onto the die plate. And I was wondering about this. I was hoping that this would be steel here. Instead it's painted. Now I don't think you're going to find that on a name brand version. I would almost certainly be sure that would be steel, not painted. Ooh. And listen to that. Yeah, we got a little burr there. So, and that's part of this. You get a set of screwdrivers, you have to file them to the way you like it. And I expected to do a little bit of work to this. Nice spot of grease. Very nice. But overall, not too bad. I don't think that burr is going to affect the die plate, but I'm going to remove it in a later video anyway. And now we're going to check the parallel from these two surfaces, from the top surface to the touching bottom surface. And this is just a caliper, and I'm not going to say that we've got 10 microns of variance there, but there is a little something there. And let's take a look at our stakes. Now this should be perfect all the way down. Okay. Very consistent. Yeah. Okay, let's check a couple others. Now this drill rod felt really good. It was definitely ground, hollow ground on the outside. And we're going to put some of these under a microscope in just a minute to take a look at the tips to see how that was manufactured. But this feels good. The steel feels heavy. It's some type of a tool steel. Couldn't tell you what type, but it's not a generic high carbon steel. This is a good steel. I'm happy with the stakes. And same goes for the die plate here as well. It also feels like a heavier than usual tool type of steel. So I'm going to reinstall this, put it back together. I'm going to drop the anvil down with the mouth facing towards this locking pin. I'm going to slide that back in. Very nice. Now I'll use that bent handle to push that in there. Okay. And there you have it. We are back together. So the next test we need to do is see if this thing will work. Everything seems to pass muster so far. So, getting the microscope out, let's inspect these stakes. So there's a little dent you can see in the reflection there, but this overall looks to be okay. Let's bring out a second nice flat die here. Again, we've got a little, that's what that buff pad's for, is to smooth out those bumps. But welcome to Chatter City. So in my opinion, this looks to be hard turned in a lathe, which isn't necessarily bad, but that chatter isn't necessarily good. So a name brand, I would expect that to be ground or very well hard turned. Now this is a good example here of it done correctly there. So that just, maybe that was just a particular bad part, but the rest of these are looking pretty good, I must say. Surface finish looks good. I think they even burnished that area. you could tell that the surface finish, and again here on the smallest, you can see that it's a little shinier there, and I think that these were burnished. Now, taking a look at the top face of the die plate, you can see that during the manufacturing, they made it and then threw it into a pile. That's where all these little dents and things are coming from. That's the parts knocking together. And I was also a little disappointed that that top surface wouldn't be ground either. The main point of that surface is to be as perpendicular to the stake as possible. And so I suspect that the parallelism isn't great anyway, but again, we're sitting on a painted surface. So all that gets thrown out of the window anyway. I'm later going to take this back apart and work it to make it as accurate as possible. And so let's see what the weight is. We have 584 grams, pretty good. Not bad. Let's take a look at these stakes. And 14 grams. Very nice. And just for fun here, we're going to put all this together, and almost a kilo, look at that. And so yeah, again, that wooden stand was quite heavy and nice. Here we go. So now let's see if this thing will function. Again, not a professional, and I need this to work for me. And after getting the die plate aligned here, I'm going to put in this balance wheel from a West Clocks from the 1960s, so this might look comically big for some folks. There we go, have that aligned, and I'm going to tap this out. Nice. Okay. That balance staff is still hanging on there. I know it's a little difficult to see, but just the tip is holding up there, so I'm going to just lightly press down. There we go. Okay, there we have it. So, yep, balance staff is out. Very nice. And if we look down here below, here it is. Good. Doesn't look damaged. Everything looks fine. So we can remove a balance staff, but can we install one? Which is really the main job I got this for. Now, I have done some research, and I know this is a very versatile tool. Guys will make their own stakes, their own stumps. This opens up a big world, the next level for sure. Ah, perfect. Now, I probably could have done that, but it wouldn't have been as easy. That's for certain. Would I buy this again? Would I recommend it? Yes. What is it missing? A hammer. That's it, guys. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. And stay tuned and check out my later videos where I will take this thing apart, polish it back to snuff, and put it to use. Take care, guys. Thanks again.